Molly arrives at her last appointment of the day in a state in Wood Green. She speaks to her next client via the intercom, but it takes a further 10 minutes to reach her. So labyrinthine is the design of this 1960s estate. Molly likes these the best, less ambitious than the teetering towers, kinder to their tenants. There is an expanse over height, and importantly, the threat to throw yourself off from one is less inviting. At its centre there is a grass the size of a small park. It looks reasonably well maintained, but barely touched. Nike trainers seem to prefer concrete and rubber underfoot. Apparently the buying classes are trying to find a way in, signing their cheques while their make charity history bands creep up their well-laundered shirts. Molly pushes the bell and hears it ring. The sound punctures yet another lonely life. She can almost feel the terror the other side of the door as it's snatched open and a downy ghoul face peers out at Molly, hoping that which it greets does not look too appetising. Her gnarled fingers, disfigured by Bile's daily wash, fidget in lack of proximity to her tonsils. Her eyes, hungry pools of suffering with cannibalistic intent. Molly maintains that bulimics and anorexics have a very distinctive odour about their person and in their homes. She can smell them blindfolded, a mixture of vomit, potpourri and desperation. This one is no different. Molly knows by the state of the place that it would be foolhardy to inhale through her nose, so she quickly resorts to her visiting breathing that knows no smell. Although she misses out on a crucial piece of information with this olfactory embargo, she's had a bellyful today and she's just going to have to go without. The decor is pink and purple, a brat's landscape with no place for an adult. Molly feels lumbering and large as she passes through the living room. Chairs upholstered in synthetic fur, love-heart cushions, florid curtains and stencilled walls assault her senses as she is ushered into the kitchen. She might well comment on the interior. The girl has obviously put a great deal of effort in, but Molly decides against it. She feels it will be too exposed and opts for a direct approach. Linda, the day centre you attend has some concerns about your recent absence, so they contacted us to see if there's anything we can do. I haven't been there for months, she whispers in a helium voice. Molly is creeped out by her. The heat is stifling. Linda is looking at the floor near Molly, her nose crumpled in disdain. Molly feels as if she's a big fat pig being roasted, dripping lard all over the floor. Are you finding it difficult to get there? What do you mean? When was the last time you went out? Molly wants to snort and forage for truffles. A while. Are you frightened to go out? Some people find it scary. How do you know? She folds her bones across the cavity that is her chest, her face a sunken treasure. If you haven't been out for a while, do you have enough food in? Linda looks appalled and embarrassed. It's as if Molly has inquired after a vagina while forcing her to suck on a prickly pear. Maybe we can find someone to take you to the centre until things get a bit easier, Molly continues. How do you know it's scary to go out? Linda recovers from the intrusion. She needs to know Molly inside and out. She does inside out every day. Why should she stop when she has company? I'm guessing maybe I'm wrong. Well, you're wrong with me. She stares at Molly's belly, which she protrudes further in defiance, and Linda recoils. In Molly's experience, whatever is offered to bulimics is immediately regurgitated. They become their digestive tract, and she's only ever consumed by them and then vomited or shat out again. Still she persists. So what would be better? Linda shrugs her shoulders. This hurts, and she winches. Would you rather I leave? Molly feels she is being flushed down the pan. She wonders what's going on inside the girl, who is wondering what is going on inside Molly. Some sort of mutual groping session ensures that can only lead to indigestion. Molly's mind drifts. Can the large intestine in its unravelled form really circumnavigate the globe? Would most anorexics happily donate theirs in the name of research? Would they scrape out their linings with their dying breaths, inflate some sort of bubble structure and crawl inside, wailing at the walls of their confinement? The Eden Project with the apple intact. I'm not going back whether you take me or not. That bloke that runs it is a perv, always putting his arm around me. A woman runs it. That's a woman. She's got facial hair. I'm definitely not going back. Is she a dyke? You have friends there, don't you? Molly just stops short of sticking her own fingers down her throat. No one at the day centre made friends. No matter how many cosy messages adorn the walls, all anyone ever knows how utterly friendless they are. Linda is now scowling at Molly's belly. Molly hates her slovenly pouch. Not enough to exercise it into submission, though. No matter what lengths she went to conceal her weight, a keen eye, such as Linda's, could ferret it out with ease. Molly didn't like working with the eating disorders. She'd worked briefly with a colour-coded anorexic once. He could only eat red food followed by green, followed by orange. It was then that he could imagine orderliness in his stomach. This was then followed by self-induced retching, ending in a technicolor yawn, distinct, not merging, like the layering of those long jars of Italian delicacies. One of Joe's old friends from the playgroup would only eat blue food. As no such thing existed, his mother injected everything from fish fingers through to baked beans with blue dye. The inside of his mouth and his tongue was blue, his poo was blue. He would scream blue murder and beat her black and blue if she dared transgress. Molly had limited patience with control freaks, and she'd used up all that on herself. These clients become a gaping orifice, and all attempts at help disappear into this void. Nevertheless, Molly, a standard size 16, presses on. She changes tactics and goes for starvation over force feeding. I've got the form here. I'll just fill it out for you, that you're perfectly fine, not in need of any help, and that you've moved on. Okay. Molly continues typing. Hang on a minute. Linda holds up her hand. Molly continues typing. Are you going? When I finish this, says Molly. I know what you're trying to do, but I could try again, I suppose. You don't have to. No, I know, but I might choose to. It's my choice, isn't it? Or are you telling me I can't go? Well, I need to go. I must go. I'm socially isolated. What about next Thursday? Molly says. We'll send a female worker to pick you up somewhere between 10 and 10:30. Can they make it 9:45? I'm sure they can. Molly escapes just before the rumblings of supper are about to take hold. For a development that houses 600 people, it's always deserted. How many miserable lives live behind these nicotine nets? Molly is only just taking a peek, and that's dismal enough. Daylight is beginning to ebb, and she is impatient for home, but there's no bus in sight. She feels exhausted. Does she have to look into any more vacant eyes, bear witness to the casualties, do nothing other than stick plasters and sometimes pour salt onto gaping wounds?